Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group meeting. It's hard to believe it's the 2nd of September, 2022. The year is flying by. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. We'll then have everybody put their 30-second introductions into the chat window. We'll then hear from our committee reports, and then we will have our main event, which today happens to be open forum. We'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about for your career. For those people on Zoom, please use the chat box. You can put your comments, any questions you've got. I mean, you'll be able just to unmute your mic and ask your questions during open forum. But if you will put in your contact information, that way we'll be able to get all that information in for today's session. And for those watching on Facebook, if you put in your personal information in the comment field, I'll be sure to delete that after the meeting. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put those in the comment field, and we'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Please note this event is being recorded. It's currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It was right around this time in 2007 when the guy who was leading the group got a job and said, who wants to take over? And I think I scratched my face. He said, okay, Jeff, you're it. So I've been doing this since 2007. In 2008, I saw there was a need, and I created a website called careerdfw.org to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Just about 10 years ago, in 2012, I launched the second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. I have copies with me if you see me in person, or if you want to get it, you can buy it off of Amazon. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. You'll hear more about that in just a couple of moments. We'd like to start the meeting off with success stories, good news. Does anybody have any news or anything to share today? Any good news out there? And of course, right at 9:30 is when they have to start cutting the grass right across the street from me, but hopefully you don't hear it, but there's 3 lawnmowers across the street. Okay. All right, we'll move on. So it's time, if everybody will put their 30-second introductions into the chat window, we'd really appreciate it. Your name, comma, phone, comma, email address, position you're looking for, 2 or 3 target companies, and then hit the return key. I will put an email out to everybody this afternoon with all those details, and we'd hope that everybody will look over that list. And if you see a company that somebody else has listed, you have contacts there, we ask that you please help somebody else out. Look them up and see, do you know who you can help, try to help somebody every day. So I also use this roster to be able to update the attendance list. So if you're using this for a Texas workforce or a workforce employment networking event, you can do that, but please put your contact information in so we know, so I can count that you're being here. Okay. You still have time to do so, but please, if you'll put your contact information in, we'd really appreciate it. If you know somebody who's recently been unemployed, I know the numbers came out this morning. It still showed pretty good hiring numbers, a little bit higher than estimated. Estimated over 300,000 people got new jobs in the last week or since the last unemployment report, and unemployment's still at a record low right now. But if you know somebody who's recently getting laid off, there are layoff notices going out. I've seen it in the news this week. Let them know about Career DFW and Career USA, 2 totally free websites. They're just there to help you. And if you know somebody who just lost their job and they're really not sure what to do, tell them that on the very front page, they can click where the green blue arrow is and they can get some help. Also on the Career DFW website, there's a bunch of calendars, and this is the everything calendar. job fairs, special workshops, anything that are going on, everything in the community is there. So, for those around the country, you definitely want to check out the special workshops that are online and stuff that maybe be able to help you out, free workshops that you can attend. All right, it's time to hear about the practice interview team. Good morning, Mark. He's got to unmute himself. Unmute. There we go.
I am mute challenged.
You are this week.
All right, well, I'm blaming it on allergies. I'm getting pounded by fall season allergies. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I wanted to start off to tell everyone that everything the PIT Crew does is absolutely free. I'm going to talk here for a couple of minutes about how we do things, and just remember everything's free through the PIT Crew. And I also, please, when you reach out to me, reach out using the PIT Crew Gmail address, dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. And that's the best way to reach me. And I use that also to keep track of what I need to do, by scanning the emails that have come in recently. So please, that's my preferred technique for interacting with you. And if we need to have a phone call, I'll give you a call. But the PIT Crew is all about giving you an opportunity to develop your interview skills so you can tell your story well. And telling your story well means with confidence and brevity. Walt's going to talk about his workshop here next, and he works a lot with you on the content of what you want to say. The PIT Crew is an opportunity to see if what you've learned you can put into practice, because knowing is not always doing. So it's very customized and personalized to your situation, which means that you pick out a job description that you'd like to interview against. So it can be a job that you're currently engaged with a recruiter, or it can just be a job description that looks good to you, something that you think you'd be a good match for. Just send that in. We study up in advance. And when I say we, that's the volunteers of the PIT Crew who provide the interview. We've all been hiring managers as part of our professional responsibility, and we've also all been through job transition. So me personally, 3 times laid off during the last 10 years of my career. So that's the kind of people who will be interviewing you, and we use our hiring manager experience to give you feedback. And we encourage you to practice early in your job search, which as soon as you know you're going to be searching, then get a job description that looks good to you and send it in, and then you can practice for each opportunity you encounter or different rounds, whatever you need to reach that level of confidence and ability where you can handle most interview situations, and you feel confident that you can answer questions, right? Answer the questions, and in some sense have purpose during your interview. So when you're ready to practice, you need to send your resume, a job description, and a brief note about when you're available in the next couple of days to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. So it does take a couple of days of time to get the schedule set. So your schedule is good and the interviewer's schedule is good. The practice interviews are done using Zoom technology. They take about an hour and a half total, actually about an hour and 15 minutes total. The actual interview portion is 45 minutes. There's a little introduction time, and then there's about 20 to 25 minutes of discussion, which is where a lot of the benefit comes from to you, this discussion about what went on during your practice interview. There's also a recording, so you can review that afterwards and make your own assessment of where you did well and where you might want to improve. And so that's the Dallas PIT Crew 2-way practice interview. We also have a 1-way practice interview, which is where you interact with a video bot application that flashes the question up on the screen and then records your answer on video. And Jeff arranged for the PIT Crew to use a tool that the companies use, a professional level tool. I give you the questions in advance. There's only 4 of them. When you interact with the tool, you'll get 3 minutes to answer each one. And then after that, you'll get a video and you can assess how you did. Nobody from the PIT Crew is going to see that video. It's only for you. and your, your self assessment. And you can do that multiple times as well. If you're not happy with how you did, then you can practice again. And I encourage you to do that. It's kind of awkward if you haven't done one of these. If you have done one of these, and you know exactly what I mean, how awkward it is. So that's the Pit Crew's one-way video offering. There's my LinkedIn profile. Please link in with me. I'd like to add you to my network, especially if you're in job search, and include a note that says, which job search activity we happen to meet at. So in this case, it'd be the North Dallas Career Focus Group on Friday morning. That's all I need to know, and building my network with people in job search. So I'm retired now. No need to build a whole bunch of professional links. People in job search would benefit. Others, because I have a much broader network than just focused on what I did during my career. Okay, the last thing, and I want to also say that I coach. This is just one little extra thing available from the Pit Crew. As I coach on one question, though, I'm very focused on this one question: why did you leave your last position? And so over the years of the Pit Crew, I've learned how to help people answer this question and deal with the whole situation of talking about their past experience. You may have had a series of short-term assignments or a lot of contract jobs, and you're concerned about how you explain that. We'll figure it out. Not only how to answer the question, but how to answer any follow-up questions that are generated. You'll be, at the end of our session, which you take about an hour on the phone. Sometimes, if it's really complicated, we'll have 2 sessions. But at the end of the session, you'll have some strategies and feel comfortable and confident you can answer that question, and reach out to me in the usual way, dallas.pitcrew@gmail.com. We'll set up a session for coaching. And then I think the last thing I want to say is that, as I mentioned, the Pit Crew volunteers have all been in job transition. Mine are in the past, but many of them are currently in job transition. And so they land. And so I'm always looking for new volunteers, and I try to keep a big roster, so I have plenty of people available for the candidates that show up each week. So if that's something that interests you, the only prerequisite is that you've been a hiring manager as part of your responsibilities in a professional environment. Doesn't matter what industry. And of course, you need to have a heart for helping. And I got an opportunity for you. You'll benefit from it greatly. And talk to some of the other panelists if you'd like more information, or give me a call, or just reach out to the Pit Crew in the usual way at the email address, and I'll send you some more information. Thanks, Jeff.
Mark, thank you very, very much. All right, time to hear from Walt Glass. Good morning, Walt.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday. So what do I do in helping people with interviewing skills? Well, a little history. Back in 2001, I got downsized, i.e. retired. I went on a job interview, did all the stuff you get in to see somebody, and I really flunked it. I did very poorly. I couldn't answer. He only asked me one question, which is, what can you do for me? And I could only talk about what I've done, not what I can do. So I did some research. I talked with people who are hiring and said, what do you look for? What's your criteria for hiring people? And it came down to 3 things. It's who we are, our soft skills, our characteristics, what we do, it's our experience, our background, certifications, or the hard skills that we have, and how we can help, which is the value that we bring to them. So I put together a workshop that said, all right, how can we actually sell those things in an interview? So if you view interviewing as an event from which you would like to survive and maybe get a call and get a call to continue on with the process, I like to change that perspective to one of which I would enjoy an interview. I look forward to the interview. I'm energized by the interview. So how do I do that? Well, we learn how to sell who we are, what we do, and how we help, and also how to differentiate ourselves. For example, someone will say, and so many people say, I like to, help the company reach its goals and objectives. Very general statement. No one's going to make an offer based on that statement. Many, many people say that. But if we add to that a specific value that we bring, an example of something that we did, whether it's an increase in sales, saving costs, turning a customer around, of the value of that, it just brings home the fact that I've done it. I can tell you about how I've done it. and I can explain what it is, and I can do it in such a way that shows you that I'm energized by doing these things. So we want to learn how to do that. So we got to learn a bit about the what. So we focus on the 12 basic categories of questions. The whole interview is informal. This is a workshop. You do get a video of your interview. Now, I remember one person who, after he went to the workshop, said, well, I'd never hire that guy. I mean, the way he looked on video was terrible. So we got to learn how to look good on TV too. So how do we do that? So the whole process is very, very simple. You just send me an email to walt_glass@yahoo.com. You can look me up on LinkedIn under Walt Glass. The workshop, the average cost that people said or paid that they would actually say when I surveyed a bunch was like $200 for the workshop. So I charge $200, but I'm currently giving 100% discount. And if you want to get one, you can get another one free. So if you can come back twice. So you got such a deal here. And I promise you that we'll try to have a very relaxed learning time, not one that's got a lot of fidgeting and anxiety and stress and all that sort of thing. So we call it learning without squirming, and it's free. So today's poem, now I really worked on, I was looking at it. And so actually this morning, my poem generation comes best somewhere between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up, and somehow these things enter my mind. So today's poem is a new poem, number 94. Are we ready to sell who we are and our experience ranging wide and far? It's a must to add the value we bring to get the offer about which we will sing.
Thank you very, very much, Walt. All right, it's time to hear the career tip of the week. You can find that tip on the Career FW or Career USA website. There's a new tip every Saturday afternoon. Good morning, Rosanna.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. All right. Well, today's tip of the week is dated August the 28th of 2022, and it's 9 ways to avoid job search fatigue. And it's quite a lengthy one, so I'll be as brief as I can. All right. Well, let's be honest. Searching for a job is draining. I have yet to meet one grad student, and I'm sorry, let me back up and say this article is written by Olga Kotsaridi. And so she says, let's be honest, job searching is draining. And I have yet to meet one grad student or post-grad who gets their energy from engaging in the process. And largely because it requires managing a lot of different components. For example, you're expected to exert mental energy on researching opportunities, analyzing tons of job descriptions, setting up and facilitating informational interviews, tracking and managing a lot of data, making a list of targets, developing technical writing and interviewing skills, and finally, creating competitive and targeted documents to speak to specific needs of the job description and organization. Even this list is not exhaustive, and job searchers must complete many other steps. And on top of all that, grad students are juggling all these other things. So to successfully conduct a job search, you absolutely need energy, enthusiasm, and a positive attitude and confidence. So such things like this are foundational to any job search success. So out of the 9 ways to avoid job search fatigue, let's start with number 1. Know what energizes you and prioritize it. It is tempting and easy to focus on all the energy of what you think you should be doing in your job search. One of the most common mistakes she sees is advising when she's advising grad students, is always allocating all their time to writing resumes and applying for as many jobs as possible. Well, it's not just grad students. We all do that. Instead, try to prioritize what excites you or gives you energy in the job search process. Ask yourself, what is the most interesting aspect of the job search? And then how can I lean into that more? Number 2, boost your confidence. You can build it by consciously recognizing and consistently reminding yourself of your self-worth. Start with introspection. Make a list of all the skills, experiences, and values that you bring. Ask yourself, what are my strengths? What am I really good at? Try asking a friend or trusted colleague what they see as your strengths. Now start to think of all the things you have to offer to potential employers, how you are prepared to meet their needs of the organization, and how you will thrive and be successful in that role. Don't censor yourself, get it all out on paper. Next, number 3, know your worth. It's extremely important to conduct market research on yourself. What is your market value? How much do people with similar credentials, experience, and skills make in your field? Having a better understanding of your market value can really boost your confidence. A great way to do such research is to connect with industry and industry professionals. And then you could also do online research, excuse me, using tools such as Glassdoor and PayScale to find salary ranges for positions and industries that you are searching in. Number 4, foster a growth mindset. Employers and companies are looking to hire people who have a growth mindset. Job searching is full of fixed mindset triggers. Setbacks, criticism, and comparisons and failures are all natural aspects of job search process. Whether it's not hearing back from after you've submitted your painstaking written applications or making it to the final interview and then not getting the offer. How will you face such challenges? A growth mindset will help you navigate them and view them as learning opportunities, allowing you to bounce back, pivot, and employ new and creative search strategies. Additionally, having a growth mindset will help you to see job searching as a set of various skills that you will improve in over time instead of something finite. Number 5, challenging limiting beliefs. This technique comes directly from cognitive processing theory. If you think I will never get a job, or I have nothing to offer, well, of course not. The first thing you want to do is to collect evidence to challenge that. Make a list of all the evidence that proves that this statement is non-factual. Employing the Socratic method, which is ask yourself questions that challenge your limiting beliefs. For example, do you currently have a job? Have you been able to get jobs in the past? Are the skills you have in demand? Number 6, talk to yourself like you would a friend. When a friend or colleague comes to you with a problem or challenge, what do you say to them? Do you criticize them for not doing enough or working fast enough? Do you beat them up for making a mistake? Absolutely not. Instead, you lead with compassion, reassurance, and understanding. I would want you to do the same thing for yourself. Incorporate self-compassion into your job search. It will help you be kind and patient, and it will sustain your energy. Number 7, form a support group or get a job search buddy. Job searching is hard, so why go through the process all on your own? Take agency into your own hands. You can start your own support group or find what I call a job search buddy. And if you're having a hard time finding peers within your area of expertise, just look for other people that you may be able to partner with. Look especially on like networking groups like this. Number 8, build job search tasks into your schedule. One of the biggest culprits of job search fatigue is decision fatigue. The best way to avoid decision fatigue is to incorporate your search into a schedule ahead of time. And instead of asking yourself every day what you should be doing in advance to advance your job search, pick one day a week, usually Sundays, when you can schedule tasks of the job search into your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly calendar. This practice will help minimize the number of decisions you have to make and free up time to make actual progress by connecting on alumni platforms, attending employer events, and practicing interviews, all the like. Number 9, reward yourself. Your job search is now built into a weekly schedule. After completing tasks that related to the job search, such as sending out 10 informational interview requests or analyzing 6 job descriptions, Reward yourself with something, say, like a 15-minute walk around the block or a bar of dark chocolate. This is also a great way to build in your breaks into your job search process. As any good coach would say, breaks are fundamental to preserving and restoring your energy. Recovery is part of the process, and this mindset helps you build healthy habits into your work-life balance by encouraging you to engage in the process. And even if it might not always render immediate results. Additionally, it helps to celebrate all the small steps that you're taking to achieve your end goal. The focus shifts from celebrating the end result or single big accomplishment to valuing all the work you are doing, and that will allow you to move through the job search process with energy. Incorporating these practical steps into your job search will allow you to navigate the process with less stress and worry, and even with some level of excitement. And in fact, I'm confident that these techniques and new habits will help you approach your job search with energy rather than dread. Be patient, everyone. Keep practicing and improving your skills. Your time in your job is coming. If your financial runway is nearing an end, then get a bridge job just until your ideal job arrives. So have yourself a safe and fun holiday weekend.
Rosanna, thank you very, very much. Great information. All right, just a reminder, Career DFW and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are two different organizations. Career DFW is a organization, a 501c3 nonprofit I started back in 2008 to help those who are unemployed around the country. The North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group is a bunch of great people who used to meet in person, and we'll start meeting again in person in a couple of weeks. Get together and on Friday mornings, and they go out to lunch afterwards and stuff. And so the only common thread between the two is that I happen to lead both groups. If you'd like to overthrow me here and take over the Friday group of the North Dallas group, you're welcome to do so. But this is not the Friday group of Career DFW. I just want to make that clear with everybody that we're two different organizations. All right, our main event here in just a second, we'll talk about open forum. We'll talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. We'd love for you to turn on your camera so we can see your smiling face as we do this. I'm going to stop sharing the screen if I get my mouse over here. And this way we can see everybody. So if you will, turn on your camera. Hello, who we can see. I see 4 people so far. So it's your time. What would you like to talk about? Open up, you're welcome to unmute your mic and ask away. Question?
I have a question about with Walt. Is this
Okay.
a money back guarantee? I mean, even though there's no money up front, it's like 100%. I think 2-for-1, and then at the end of it, is there any catch in it? Like if you misbehave or you're not really that proficient at something that you might give them a penalty clause?
No penalty clauses. I have talked with my legal staff, and it says the liability is too great. Do not engage.
Well, I think, I've done it and I learned a lot from it. And I just didn't know if I was still allowed to, do it again because, you expended a lot of energy to kind of turn me around.
Well, my hope is to help shorten your job search. Mark and I both purpose in when the rubber meets the road with interviewing is to make it so that you are very effective at doing a good job in communicating and articulating your value to what you can bring to them. So we both hope, and we love it when we hear people land.
Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Great. And I want to just also say with Mark, he gave me this one-way interview thing, and I was very satisfied with my results. And I don't know why. I mean, I think I should hire myself because I did such a good job with it. But I did get a feedback on it. I was interviewing for a county job, first forever, and the guy said he was interviewing 3 people out of many, And he said he chose me because I was so up and so, passionate about and positive. So it really helped me do that. So I want to thank Mark and Jeff and Walt for making that available. And I totally think you should learn, I'm learning about myself, how I project, and because I think I'm great, but not everyone thinks that way. So I'm trying to turn that around. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Kevin. What
Yeah.
else can we answer for what a question we have for somebody?
Oh,
Well, go ahead, Rob.
oh, okay. Thank you very much. I was wondering, does this occur on Zoom? And I don't have a camera, by the way, on this computer, so that's why I can't you can't see my smiling face. But do these mock interviews occur on Zoom, or is this in person, or how does this work?
Yeah, the mock interviews is on Zoom, so that's
Okay.
how we get a recording of it. Whether you have a camera or not, you can get a recording of everyone else who's involved. Walt, go ahead, Walt.
Yeah, it's done by Zoom. And we do get a video also of the interview, but we take it pretty slow through the process. I only do 1 or 2 people at a time. So, and you get a handout and you get a video that goes over the handout as well. That's an hour-long video going over the basic ideas, and then some other facts and information that will help you, things about how to differentiate yourself with thank you notes and that sort of thing.
Are there any of these that you've done? Are there any of these posted already? Do you post these videos?
No, none of the videos that I do are posted. Now, Mark has a different answer for that.
Okay. All right. Mark, you post yours?
Do I post them? No, they're not posted. The practice interviews are not posted, but there are opportunities to see them rebroadcast. So on Wednesday afternoons, we like to have a webinar format where people can observe a practice interview. Sometimes it's live. It's actual practice interview occurring at that moment, and sometimes it's a recording of previous practice interviews, but they're not cataloged or available. You can only see them during the webinar timeframe.
Okay, and that's on the Career DFW website. The
That's
Yeah,
schedule
that's
for
on
that.
Wednesdays. We'll do that Wednesdays at 1 o'clock if we have a candidate. So if we have a candidate, we'll do it Wednesday at 1. The candidate, of course, has to agree to allow it to be broadcast. And if we don't have a candidate, then we've been replaying other interviewing topics to go over.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this occurs at 1 o'clock then. Okay, great. All right.
And these are all done with the candidate's permission, and because of that, they're one and done, right? They're not stored on the web anywhere. It's just we get a permission to do it once, and that's what we do.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bill, you had a question.
Well,
I
if you-
actually had a comment to those from those of us on this side that are doing interviewing and all that. I did a practice interview with Mark and the guys. I guess it's been almost 2 weeks ago. Days are still coming together. This is kind of a mini success story where yesterday I got a phone call out of the blue from a company I had targeted. Even though they did not have any openings, they gave me they called me for an informational interview, and based on some of the things Mark and the guys did with me in the pit session, at the end of the call, she basically said, yeah, we do not have any openings right now. However, we're coming off of a record year, and we know for sure that we're going to be having some openings real soon, and you're definitely on the list that when those openings come out, I'm in the next round. And if it hadn't been for that practice, I don't think I would have gotten there, because I wasn't expecting the call. I mean, it was just, here you are, they called, I looked down, saw who the company was, said, wow, what could they want? And thankfully, I had practiced a few things. I'm not perfect yet, but thanks to the help, I'm in that one, and I've actually had some others, and I've got 4 decent opportunities right now, or at least I've made it out of the first round. So I'm feeling better than I did last time I was laid off. So,
That's really good to hear, and it's very encouraging to hear that. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bill. So practice early and practice often. It will
yes,
pay off. And there's a great example also of the hidden job network. Okay, so they have
right.
these jobs, they've had a good year, they know they're coming, but they're not posted. And the recruiters, proactively doing informational interviews with potential candidates. Way to go.
Thanks. Hopefully I'll be virtually on here celebrating within a few weeks. I'd like it to be tomorrow, but I'm trying to practice patience, and I just keep telling myself, hey, you're getting opportunities. It's the opportunities are coming faster than what I thought they would. So I feel better in that.
Bill, I have a question for you. That interview that you had with him, was that any different than if maybe they had responded to check you out and find out, like just a primary interview that you would get?
It was less formal. It was basically the HR person just kind of wanted to know a little bit more about my past and all that. The field itself, I'm in industrial sales. While my resume does not show it didn't show actual air conditioning, or this was with an air conditioning mechanical contractor. However, I've worked with mechanical contractors for years, and my first job out of college many years ago was with a mechanical contractor. However, that's not on my resume because it was so long ago. But I was able to tell her that, and said, yeah, I said, I've got more experience, in that field than you would think. And I think that was nice to get that out there. And she was able to realize that I could take my skills and could be a fit with her company. So it was not as formal as the one we did with Mark and the guys in the practice session. It was basically informational. She just wanted to find out more behind the resume that somebody had forwarded to her.
So it sounds like a really nice conversational interview, talking about
It was.
Yeah, that's great. And by the way, after my military and after my graduate school, my first job was with a mechanical subcontractor. So we have something in common.
Oh yeah. My one of the projects I worked on here when I got transferred here in 2002. I basically lived out at the new what was the new terminal at DFW Airport with a company called Dynamic Systems. And actually, I lived out there until that thing was finished, and got a very complimentary letter from them at the end of the project, written to me as the project manager for the company I work for, and I have that sucker framed.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Bill.
One more question, Mark. Is the lighting better now? I know last time we had some issues with lighting and the glasses.
Oh. Yeah, well, the lighting above your head is too strong.
Still too strong.
Above your
Okay.
head is too strong. Yeah.
So
So
put some lower wattage
you need to get
bulbs in
more
this.
lighting right in front of your face. So your face is, because you have a bright spot on your forehead. So
Yeah.
lighting behind the camera, behind the computer, shining right on your face. And you can see mine. They're mine. So you got to watch with your glasses, which means
Right.
you have to get it up high enough that your glasses don't pick it up. So mine gets picked up when I look up. But that's what you're looking for. It's light to bathe your whole face from the front.
Something similar to that. And
Yeah, there
okay.
you go. That's getting better. Yep.
Cool. Still experimenting. So
Yeah.
I'll put some lower wattage bulbs above me.
Your glasses are picking up the ring light
Yeah.
also. I don't know how to get rid of that either. That's hard.
You have to raise the ring
It
light up.
almost has to go like this high.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you got to get it high. So I'll still got some more adjusting to do.
The other thing to think about is I don't have ring lights. I just use a couple of lamps.
Yeah.
So because of the shade helps diffuse the light. So I've got a lamp on either side. I have one one off to my right, one off to my left. And I have no above light at all, but just enough to, to give me some diffuse light around the area. So the other thing you may want to do is find a piece of cloth, a piece of white cloth, maybe just to stick in front of it, because that'll help diffuse the light a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, I'm playing around with some stuff here.
And if you can also probably raise your camera up so that the camera lens is at eye level with you, that would be better. Because, if you have it way low, I mean, I can take my camera, and I can get it down here low. So, it's weird looking when you're looking at it because I'm looking down. But if you can get it up to eye level, that also will make a big, big difference.
Oh, this is Mark McDonald.
To do things. Let me mute Mark. Hold on. So, yeah, all these little things, but that's what we're here for. We're here to help you with those kinds of things. So,
Exactly.
whatever we can do to help, it's great.
Well, the good thing is I'll have my kids over this weekend. They can help dear old dad, them being the millennials, they can help me with the lighting. So
yeah, just look around. I mean, like I said, I found a couple of lamps I had in the house. It's like, oh, I'll move this lamp in here and, maybe, and that'll help you. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I got plenty of lamps too. No problem.
Jeff, for your,
I think you want to use yellow bulbs, right?
I'm using the light bulbs I have. All my light bulbs are 2700 Kelvin, which are the warm white light bulbs.
Yeah, warm light.
I'm not a big fan of 3000 and up, 3000, 4500, and 6000 lights, because those are just, to me, it's too white and you want some warmth. So, if you can stick with, the 2700, the warm white lights, they're LED lights. Well, one's an LED, one's a incandescent. I haven't replaced that one over here yet.
what wattage?
Whatever was in there.
Oh, okay.
I think the main one I use is a 3-way light bulb. The one over this side, it's a 3-way, so it's got 60, 100, 160, or I don't know.
Okay.
And but your camera will adjust for it. It's just a matter of you just want to have have light so you're flush. Normally I don't use the light. It's over here on my left side because I have windows over here. But if it was a sunny day, I'd have enough outside light to do that. I just don't have enough outside light right now.
Okay,
and for those people wearing glasses, I know Bill's wearing glasses. I wear glasses to drive. I wear glasses to read. I don't wear glasses when I'm on my computer because, just from the reflection of it. If you can get by without it when you're on an interview or whatever, it just, you won't get that glare and everything.
Yeah. There's one thing in common with children. You can take a young child and say, gee, what do they have in common? Well, they have in common something with sex and with computers. If we just ask them, they'll explain it to us.
That's right.
Right.
Is that a beginning interview question, or is it towards the end of the interview? Thank you.
All right, what else can we answer for somebody? What kind of questions, what kind of issues have you been having?
I don't have a question right this moment, but I want to say that I attended this Veterans Week of training last week, and they're not putting me in boot camp again, but and then I joined Hiring Our Heroes, and they have a lot of programs and a lot of support. So if you're a veteran, I encourage you to check it out because they have mentors, they have, courses, a lot of stuff. So check it out if you're a veteran.
Has anybody had any issues with gaps in employment? Like addressing, I think I asked you yesterday, Jeff, or the day before, that you can put that on your resume as a job. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, Rob, why don't you go in a little more detail and explain to people, a little bit what.
Well, I took off, I left the job I was at, and I ended up taking off. There's a gap of like 6 years where I was taking care of my mom And so I'm terrified about, having to, I don't know. I'm afraid that's gonna, they're gonna raise an eyebrow to that, but there's nothing I could do about it. So I know it's a long time. That's why I'm kind of nervous about it.
Suggestions, comments?
Well, there's several things you can do. One is, what's the concern with gaps? And it's like unfair, because so many things seem to be unfair towards candidates, is that they can assume you've been in prison. They think other things about those gaps and, all the negatives that come up. But you had a job, and I call it caretaker. So that's a personal thing that you did. You don't have to put any details about that other than you were caretaker for this year, taking care of a family member. And put it down. Now, my question is did you do anything else during that gap? Did you volunteer anything? Did you take any courses? Did you educate? Okay, so there's things that you said, I didn't waste my time from the job perspective during that time. And so I did these other activities. So you can put caretaker and volunteer, and you can mention the volunteer activity as a bullet. That type of thing in there. Most people in the technical world are concerned that technology today and technology 6 years ago is quite different. And are you up to speed? So some fields you want to make sure that you're keeping up with what the industry is doing, what kind of jobs doing, what kind of tools, all that sort of thing. So if you can demonstrate those as well during that gap, that really puts a lot of people's mind at ease.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
And it's also probably something else that you put in a cover letter. You put in that T cover letter that you let people know, the reason, you were a caretaker for a family member for the last 6 years, and you're excited about the opportunity at this company, and you can help them out.
Okay.
And I from my own personal experience, because I've taken some time off and I've done nonprofit work and all that sort of stuff. It's so important to network and tell your story with people that start to get to know you or know you. This is just applying blindly on an internet site. Because everyone's got a story, and sometimes stories are best done person to person. So just suggest that.
Okay.
Really in your network and start, setting up small phone calls or small meetings.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
What else can we answer for somebody?
I'd say one more thing. Sorry for hogging this. LinkedIn, I use, I'm a veteran, so I use Veterati, and I'm able to talk to people and companies that I want to work at and mentor with them. But LinkedIn, I've also gotten LinkedIn information meetings, for companies I want to work with. So they're very good. My hit rate might be 2 out of 10 or something like that. Will respond and give me some time, but Veterati might be 6 or 7 out of 10. So but it's just a matter of work effort. How much per day of doing the networking. Contacting people to set up meetings. But you don't do the whole day on it. But maybe half hour or an hour, and pace yourself. And I don't mind it. I kind of enjoy contacting people and talking to people. So I'm a little crazy, but some people.
When you say information meeting, can you go into more detail on that? Like,
yeah. Well, the old term was you want an information interview, but kind of scares some people when you say interview. That means you're looking for a job. When you say information meeting, you're trying to acquire information or get knowledge of a particular company or particular industry. And it's not so offsetting, like you're asking them to from there, do something for me, like line me up for a job interview. So that's why, so it's really, and it really is what it is, because some people will give you some valuable information. Well, there's a free certification course. Amazon offers free certification courses. Coursera offers certification courses. So if you're interested in technology or even HR, they have free courses that's something. Some of them don't require a lot of effort. Some do, but you can, advance your skills if if you haven't done much in, for a while. That shows interest and passion and so forth.
Okay. All right. Thank you
And
very much.
Rob, I just put in the chat window a handout on information on interviewing. So it may be something
Oh,
you
okay.
can download to, if you have any more questions, reach out to Walt, reach out to me, because we can both, we can talk you through it some more.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just got it. I'll download it now.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I sure appreciate it.
You're welcome. What else can we answer for somebody? Yes. T-Mac.
T-Mac, yeah, Trevor.
Trevor, okay.
I am trying not to commoditize myself as much by putting like specific firewall technologies and stuff and all that kind of stuff on there. And so I'm wondering, am I going the right way with that? By putting like, a skill section on top and it says firewalls, CRM, whatever, and not listing the specific ones. Cause there's 3 big ones. I've used them all. I don't need to list all 3 of them, in my opinion. Am I wrong? What do you feel?
Well, I think, Walt, you're muted.
Let me ask you a question. What's wrong with putting all 3?
It just takes a lot of space to put all these little things in it. And my biggest thing is that it's commoditizing me, as opposed to what's my value? How can I fix what your pain is? It's saying, well, I just do these things. And if you have a need for those specific things and whatever, so it lowers my overall value proposition to them by saying that, I'm just a skill set. I'm just a robot in this whole thing. And I'm not going to give you anything more than what's on the sheet,
A technician.
Jeff, why don't you talk about your master resume and how you tailor them for the job description?
Yeah, I mean, I think, tell me, Trevor, what exactly do you do? Tell me what it is you do or want to do.
I'll tell you what I want to do as opposed to what I do. But what I am doing is I'm a college student again, trying to get a bunch of certifications, which commoditizes me. But anyways, what I want to do is get into organizations and make teams run better and be able to solve their pain. And the pain that I want to solve is when they have a bunch of individuals that are just doing work. I want to make them work together.
Okay, so more like a program manager, product manager, something like that. You're not, all right. So the fact that you're not like a program engineer or your electronic engineer, EE or something, those technical skills, the programs should all go on a listing at the very bottom of your resume. It should go after your education. You list all those things. The things you want to list at the top of your resume are 9 skills that probably come from the job description of things that they're looking for somebody that you can do. And you want to make sure that the top 3 things that you do are either across the top 3 on the top or on the very left-hand side. Because if I was to interview you, I'd say, well, I see you have 9 skills here. Tell me what your top 3 are. It better be the top 3 on the list or the top 3 on the left, just because that's what stands out. But, you just list 9 sort of not generic skills, but skills that are listed for that are in the resume. But like I said, the very bottom of your resume, after education, you list all your computer skills and all the different programs you've used. And the reason you want to do that is because keyword matching. If it's listed if it's listed in the job description, you want to have it on your resume. And by listing it down at the bottom, that is one keyword match. If you also can list, if they're asking for a certain computer program or a certain skill, and you've done it at a job before, make sure that one of the bullet points that you have talk about, using program X, I was able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And so you've now used that computer term a second time, which then moves you up in the keyword searches. When you're sending a resume in, you just got to remember, you've got somebody who's got a job description and they're trying to match your resume to find the 10 or 15 people that they want to talk to. And the easier you can make it for them by matching things up, the better opportunity you're going to have to get that phone call. Your resume, your LinkedIn profile isn't going to get you a job. It just gets you a phone call, as Bill can attest to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Trevor? So I'll put, and make sure that, the skills that you put towards the top of your resume, not in a table, because some ATS systems don't read tables. You don't want it to, fall out of favor, but, Bill Walt mentioned, the master resume. One of the things I recommend is you get your master resume, a resume that could be 10 or 15 pages long with everything you've ever done, with, and with accomplishments. And everyone has a good star story. You put all the details. And then when you see a job description, you just go through and you eliminate everything that's not in the job description, because you want that brand new college graduate who's working in the HR department, who's been assigned to go find me somebody who can do this. They can go, oh yeah, this person matches all these things right here. Make it easy for them. Once you get that interview, then you can tell them about all the other wonderful things you've done, but you're just trying to get that phone call. And when you do get that phone call, so what was it about my resume that was of interest? Or what was it on my LinkedIn profile that made you call? Ask them that question up front, because now you'll know what was important to them or what they saw on your resume and what you should maybe focus on.
Hey, has anybody got experience with that jobscan.co? Is it true? I threw one in for reference the other day. I threw one resume in and it spit back out a score. How accurate is that? Has anybody got real experience using JobScan? Is it just a gimmick? Or
I think it's pretty good. The issue is you've got to be real careful when you copy the job description, because a lot of job descriptions at the very bottom will say, we have a 401k and we have all this health stuff. You have to eliminate that. You don't copy that.
Yeah, you take all that out.
You copy the important stuff in and copy your resume. You're never going to hit 100%. And I think even if you hit in the 90s, you probably won't hit in the 90s. But if you can get between 70 and 80, probably it's worth using. We used to give away a month. We had somebody who gave us JobScan. I could give away licenses for a month. And, I think the people who used it thought it was a little helpful. I mean, once again, it's all about keyword searches. It is doing what an ATS system is doing, and it's taking your resume and going, how well do you match by some whatever system that they use? How well do I match this person's resume? And that pops you up. And, keywords, keywords, keywords. It's just so important. Analyze the job description, modify your resume so you're using the same keywords.
Got it. I found something online. I've got 40 free searches right now. So I burned one. And so I thought, well, let me ask you guys, since y'all mentioned it, I didn't even think about that till now. So 70 to 80%, that's where should be where it needs to be.
If you can get it that close, you may not be able to, but I've heard Mark tends to talk about, if you match 50% of the things on a job description, you should apply, because you never know, can they find that purple squirrel? Probably not.
Probably not.
But, maybe you have some talents that they didn't even think about they need. And you also got to remember, a lot of job descriptions come off a shelf in the HR department that haven't been updated in 10 years.
Yes.
Don't even have the most recent technologies listed. So they're just doing it because it fits a pay grade. I know I used to work for a company and we had a binder just for my department. My binder was an inch thick with 30 different job descriptions in it, that if I was going to hire somebody, I had to decide, well, which job description am I trying to fill here because of the pay grade and the pay scale and where they were. And, sometimes you you realized when you interviewed somebody, well, you know, they're really the next scale up. And so you could then go back to your boss and maybe modify it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I would bet a lot of job descriptions out there, it's just things have been pulled off the shelf. It may not be what's the most important thing. I think that's one of the reasons Walt and Mark and everybody talks about when you go to your interview and after the tell me about yourself statement and you've told them who you are and what you do, is to go and ask them. So let me ask you a question. What are the 3 or 4 most important things that I need to do for you to make you look good and be successful in this job? And you have to ask that to everybody you interview with, because everybody could have a different 3 or 4 things depending on what they're in, what department they're in. And you then know, you then can focus in on that interview as far as, I need to make sure I talk about these things because this is what's important to that person. And at the end of the interview, that's what you use to follow up the, you know, the interview. You said at the beginning, you need somebody to do this, this, and this. I think I can do this. I've covered this. Is there any, you know, how do I compare to the ideal candidate? You know, is there anything we haven't talked about?
Yeah.
Just one other thing you can do with job scan. You know, I'm a proponent of getting your resume pretty much in order, and then stop doing these eternal revisions to your resume. But you can use job scan. Pick out job descriptions of the type of job you would like to have.
Okay.
Right? They may not all be the same title. They may have different titles, right? But pick 5 or 6 of them, strip them down, put them in text format, and throw the whole thing into job scan and see what comes up the most often. So there's kind of a general representation of what most people, most things are looking for. But the caveat of you can't trust job descriptions. They don't, you know, they don't give you the whole job. I mean, there's a lot of problems with job, but it might help you get some focus on some terms you can use to put in there. Once you get that set, spend your time finding, you've already spent your time being found.
Good, thanks.
So I've been able to connect through LinkedIn with a handful of CEOs, and I've been able to go on informational interviews and stuff. And they're CEOs of small businesses. They're looking for people. They have some sort of pain point. Anyway, anything from like a level 2 tech to, you know, a project manager or something like that. Do you guys have any suggestions for? So, and one of the things I asked them is like, so what kind of groups are you in, or what kind of things do you go to, or whatever, where you're hanging out with other people? And a lot of times I get this response of, well, I don't really do much of anything else other than work on this business. Understandably, you know, like this is their full-time thing. This is what they do, you know. And sometimes they have things at home that they do or whatever, but they're not like, you know, oh yeah, I do I don't know, karate or something, or I'm with Future Farmers of America or something, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not finding that they're really part of a lot of groups. And sometimes I get the response of, oh, I'm in this group or whatever. And you have to be a CEO or some high level person in order to get into that group in the first place. So what kind of strategies or techniques or suggestions do you guys have for trying to connect with people and be around them? Because a lot of times we just need to be around them because they're looking for somebody before they ever get on a job board.
Suggestions, comments? Well, one of the places, and I'm calling it up on my website right now, and I'll pop it up here so we can share the screen so everybody can see it. Let's see here. Share
Meetups, how about meetups?
Yep, meetup.com, great suggestion. So I'm sharing, this is the Career DFW website right now. And if you go to the group tab up here, go down to professional groups. There's a list here. It's like 17 pages long if you were to print it out, of different networking groups. And these are in the DFW area. So, you know, go through this list and see, is there a group here of things I can do? I do talk about, I think I have listed on here, the, you know, JCs. There's meetup.com is a great place to meet, you know, find other people who do what they do. Go to Eventbrite. You can probably just type in what you're looking for and you can find all sorts of groups. So there's all sorts of, prayers and project management institute. Sounds like this is something like you would do. So go through these groups and find, here's Rotary, Salesman Club. I mean, if whatever, but go through here. Like I said, 17 pages long. It's just an opportunity that you can possibly, find a networking group, find a couple groups. But yeah, meetup.com is a great place to meet groups. I mean, they've got groups all over the place doing all sorts of things. All right, what else can we answer for somebody? Questions, answers?
Got some more follow-up work to do.
Huh?
I got some more follow-up work to do, so I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I have a question. How many of you are a member of an accountability group? Anyone?
Have been in the past, not now, but.
How does that work?
Jeff has a great recorded session on accountability groups. It's out there on his Career USA channel on YouTube. But it works where you get 3 or 4 people together. They're all job seekers, and you establish some rules about how you operate. But the main point is to help and encourage each other. And so you have specific plans for next week. You come back and you report on what happened last week, what you've accomplished, what you weren't able to do, what you need to do. And then people will talk and give you ideas, suggestions, thoughts, ideas, whatever it might be, to say, here's how we might be able to help you move forward in doing that. And you meet weekly. You can do it online because a lot of us now that are participating in this are not in the DFW area. But it's a way of finding assistance and ideas and help. And you'd be amazed because everybody wants to help everybody. We're all in the same boat here, and the information that you get, and it helps keep you on track. For example, one person said, here's my objectives for next week. And so the question from the group was, how are you going to accomplish all of that? Because it was way too much to do in a week. And so we help prioritize, which is the most important, which ones do you think you should do first, and all that sort of thing to help, or give ideas, connections, contacts, things like that. So if you want to get started with it, maybe Jeff can find the URL, something for that particular.
Yeah, I know. Well, we have Clayton Stockdale is going to talk about accountability groups. I've got them lined up on October 14th. We'll be here next month. But if you don't want to wait, you can go to the Career USA YouTube channel, go to the North Dallas playlist, and just scroll down, and you'll find them, somewhere. I'm not sure, but it'll be somewhere last fall in 2021. And you'll be able to go back and watch his presentation if you want to do that.
Yeah, it's great to participate, and it helps counteract these people that are saying, how come you hadn't found a job yet?
Mm-hmm.
You get that stuff and it's, oh, well, that'll encourage me, particularly if it's your spouse. They're saying that kind of thing. So yeah, you need some positive reinforcement and some continual and some help in going along the way. I strongly recommend that you participate. You can form your own.
Yep, just find a couple people who want to do it. Put a note out on this group. Lily, I see you have a question.
Thank you. No, not a question, but I'm hoping this will help. I take it Trevor's out of town, not in the DFW area.
Who?
I am in the DFW area.
Okay, and you were the one who asked about the accountability groups, right?
No, that was
Oh,
Rob.
I'm sorry. Rob?
Yes.
I just asked who was participating in the group.
Anyway, yeah, because actually South Lake, we not only have the accountability group, there's also an alumni group. So I've been part of that very strong. If you're not associated with that, and we are really looking to help people, even get people from Clayton Stockdale's group to join so that we have a larger group, and it's very valuable. Like I think it's a must in job seeking, having an accountability group. And we've started doing every other month just to help people who are entering the job search. And it's all over Zoom right now, so you'll be able to join.
What's the name of the organization again?
South Lake Focus Group, very well known here in I've been part.
They meet on Thursday mornings. The information's on the Career DFW calendar. You can get the web link off of there.
Okay.
They probably
Yeah.
require you to attend once or twice before they let you get into an accountability group, but it's really worth it.
Yeah, I definitely like the South Lake Focus Group as well. Lily. Thank you.
Yeah.
I champion that with you. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
right. I mean, we've been meeting every other month, first at a coffee shop at South Lake. I mean, after we found jobs, I mean, we built some great, strong relationships there. Amazing. And then somehow a couple of us had the heart to help others, especially because it's all turned into Zoom sessions. So now we are doing the other month that we don't meet. We have a meeting for people who are new to it, or just getting into the accountability groups.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that
You're welcome
information.
very much.
And I just posted a PDF about accountability groups. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the handout from the session from a year ago, October, when Clayton spoke, but like I said, I just put a handout about how to, I think it has how to form accountability groups. What do you do? The good, the bad, the ugly. So your significant other should not be in your accountability group. All right, what else can we answer or questions somebody has? Questions, comments? How about things you'd like to see us talk about here? Things, speakers you'd like to see over the next couple of months? Anybody in particular you'd like to see? I'm trying to fill up the fall schedule right now.
Do you have Terry from LinkedIn coming up?
Terry talks on LinkedIn Tuesdays once a month. So Terry is scheduled on September 13th.
Perfect. He's great.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Is there anybody else have any questions or comments?
Are we looking to fill time?
Well, I mean, I'll end the meeting.
I mean,
early.
I'll keep asking questions because I am that constant
Ask away.
analytical learner type of person, and
Ask away.
I'm not going to be shy because I was shy my whole life. And I'm not going to be shy anymore.
Okay,
I'm
ask
an
away.
extreme introvert. After this call, I'm probably going to be like for like 5-10 minutes just to get my energy back. But anyways, so how do you like? What are some good strategies you guys have found for like constantly engaging with the recruiters or hire? I mean, if I could get a hold of hiring managers, it'd be a lot easier. But like, so trying to just kind of like without being like annoying and like I'm trying to like I'm being right now, but without being like annoying and just like I'm just gonna shut you off, but still like keep your presence in their mind.
So I guess the first question is what kind of recruiter are you trying to reach out to?
Just IT recruiters, they call them technical recruiters, but
Technical
so they reach out to me or whatever, and then they take a look. They oh well, the hiring manager says you know they're looking for somebody else or something like that or whatever, or they just kind of whatever, and you're like, okay, well they actually responded, you know, which is a lot sometimes. Sometimes they're just like they never respond at all. And so it's like, I try to shunt them over to LinkedIn first thing, you know, like, hey, can we connect on LinkedIn? And then I'm like, hey, you know, so what happened there? You know, because they just like don't respond or whatever, you know. So it sounds like we were on fire and you were really interested in getting my resume and getting it to the hiring manager and everything. What happened? You know, but is there a way, a strategy or very specific techniques of how to not get them to turn you off but at the same time, you're still in their brain space.
Walt, you want to answer that one?
Well, I'll ask you a question first. Would you rather be annoying and perhaps get a job, or not talking to them at all? All right. So if we're going to err, let's err on the side of annoying, but not to be annoying. Just this last Wednesday, we did a session. Jeff played a recording about working with recruiters. The short story on recruiters is they are not going to look for a job for us. All right. That they're not going to go do that. They're only going to try to find matching, and recruiters don't work for the company. They don't work for us. They work for themselves. They get paid like a contractor. Yes, they will serve the interest of the company, and they're driven by the company's needs for work and doing the work and trying to match that. If you work with too many recruiters, then you're going to have a problem if you get an offer, because there's going to be 5 recruiters going to that company saying, I want part of the fee for getting that, because I also have that job on my list. So find the recruiter in your space that has the experience in your space. So talk with other people about recruiters they've used, or whoever it is, but they all specialize. It can be in an industry, it can be types of jobs. And some are only IT, some are different. They are HR, they might have 2 or 3 different, but find that person. Find the experienced person, somebody who's been doing it for a while. It's a tough job, and there's a lot of turnover with recruiters. But if you work with recruiters and you're spending most of your time working with recruiters, you're not going to get a big bang for your buck. So the suggestion is find one in your space that's done this, familiar with the companies that you have. If they've got, so you have your company's target list, see if you can't set this set of criteria where they meet most of that and deal with that sort of thing. Build that relationship with that person, keep in contact with them periodically, weekly or so. That sort of thing is what I suggest you do, to have more than one working for you. I mean, you're going to spend your time working with recruiters. They're not spending much time on you, not at all. They just, okay, they put you in their database and see if something matches later on. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of the short story. I'm sure there's more, Jeff, there's more we can say, but
well, I mean, what I would say about recruiters is, they have a very short attention span. They're like Walt said, they're just trying to match. They got a job rec. They're trying to find somebody to fill the rec so they can make some money. I mean, I've worked, the last job I actually got through Babbage and Associates, and I had a really nice relationship with the recruiter I was dealing with, because he knew that I was a really good interviewer, that he could send me out on interviews. He said, this really isn't you, but I want you to go because I want to be able to show a good candidate. He knew I would do a good job when I went out. But one of the things I found is that I had to check the Babbage and Associate website to look for open jobs. And when I found one that I went, this is me, I would call the recruiter up and go, hey, I want to go for this one. And he would send me out on it. So, any recruiter you connect with, check and see if their website, if they post jobs on their website. And if they do, keep an eye on that every couple of days. And when you find something on that website and you go, this is me, when you call the recruiter and go, you've got this job on your website, this is me, I can do this, you have a much better opportunity of getting, going, because you've done some of the legwork for them of trying to match that up. So, I just, they'll forget about you over time.
No, thank you for that. And while you were saying that, it gave me an idea to go shop around with them, basically. Hey, so I've got these emails of different recruiters from different places all the time asking me, hey, what about this one? What about that one? What about this one? And so I just need to well, I saw this one. Can you help me with that? That's an excellent idea. I appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you.
If you find the job posting on their website,
Just because one recruiter, said no, doesn't mean the other ones aren't.
right.
well, last Wednesday's 1 o'clock meeting had part of that session dealt with working with recruiters. You might find some more information there and take a look at that. It's on the Career USA YouTube channel.
Right.
Would it be a faux pas as far as that too? So if one recruiter turned your resume over to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager basically says no. If you go to another recruiter and they're like, yeah, I'm going to submit you too, and you even tell them up front, you say, hey, I've already submitted this to another recruiter and they sent it to the hiring manager and they said no, and they're like, but you're good for the job. They're not going to submit it.
No, once you've been submitted for one job, one position by one recruiting firm, that you're blocked out at that point. You don't want to have it. You don't want to have your resume coming in from 2 or 3 different places, because when that happens, a lot of companies will go, we don't want to have to deal with who we have to pay a commission to if we're going to hire you. So, you know, one job, one recruiter. If that doesn't work, you move on to the next job.
So at that point, you just need to hack the hiring manager and the company and network and all that other stuff, because
Work your way in.
you need your name to be hitting that hiring manager over and over.
The ideal path is to get them interested in you and have them say, send me your resume, okay? That's not a recruiter, that's just through your connections, your contacts, you're talking with people, finding out about the company and somebody saying, yeah, I'll be interested in doing that, and helping them represent you to someone in authority, whether it's an HR person or a hiring manager, whatever it might be, to get them interested. That's why bios are nice and important, to do that kind of thing, to give that information. But figure out how to make it easy for people to help, right? People are not going to look for a job for you. I'll sometimes see information, you know, in the people's introductions that say, you know, I'm looking for a job like this, and if you know of anything, let me know. Well, how many of us are going to rush out and look and see if they can find that job for somebody? You know, we don't do that. But if you say, I'm looking for a connection in this company or target company, do you know someone? Now I can help you. And a little tip, when you put your target companies in your chat window for us to take a look at, use the exact name that you would use to find them on LinkedIn. You mentioned Toyota. What is that? Toyota Financial? Is that Toyota Services? Is that Toyota Manufacturing? You know, what is all of that? So who knows? I mean, I get some companies sometimes that I look up and say, well, here's 5 listings, and I don't know which company that you're really looking for.
Right. Very important.
I have another question. I have a few recruiters that have just contacted me randomly saying, hey, I have a position for this, that, and the other, but I don't know anything about them. And I know that in the industry that I'm in, the tech industry, there it is a reputable agency, Robert Half, that's been around for a long time. Would I be better off contacting Robert Half and, you know, and saying, hey, I don't know how this works, but say, hey, you know, I'm interested in a tech position. Can you hook me up with a recruiter? Or how, I don't know how that would work, but is that, is there etiquette in doing that? I mean, is that okay to do?
Yeah, I mean, if you know, I mean, Robert Half, they're very reputable, and they have a division that does financial stuff. They have a, you know, administrative. If they have a division that does those kinds of roles, definitely reach out to them and ask to meet with a recruiter. They'll call you in, or they'll do something over the line. They'll help you fill out some information. And
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, definitely. It's you know, if they have on their website that they're placing technical people, definitely I would call them up.
Okay. All right.
I would do that in search for the recruiter you might want to connect with and use, okay, in that process. I mean, what are they going to say? Most of the time they're going to say, okay, well, send me your resume, we'll put it in the database and we'll get in touch with you. And they might do a little bit of information or something about you. But if you're you want to find the recruiter to use over time, I would call all those recruiting companies and find out, or use people who have used them, whatever.
Are you saying that I should, like, would the process be me calling Robert Half and say, hey, I would like to get hooked up with a recruiter? Who would that be? You know, ask them the name of somebody, or?
Yeah, I would. It's an informational interview with a recruiter to figure out if you would like them to work with you.
Okay.
Not necessarily to find the job, but to work with you, okay, to find that recruiter. So you might call Babbitt, you might call whatever the different recruiting companies that are out there to say. But I would use, there's people on this session right now that might use a recruiter that can tell you about the recruiter. Maybe they're in the same field that you are, to give you at least a lead to find one. And the other way is you're scatter shooting. You're just calling a company and say you do a little bit of both of that, but most of the time I think they're just going to say, well, send me your resume and we'll put it in our database.
And is that okay to do? Would you do that? Would you recommend that? If you,
Well, in one sense, yes, but the other sense is you just can't spend a lot of time doing this, okay? Because the return rate is so low.
yeah,
It's 2% on submitting a resume, okay? 2% return. And if you spend all day applying online, which takes a long time, it's going to kill you. But if you can spend some time saying, okay, I want to put my information out there, I want to be put on something, I would do that. But then there's a point in time where you stop doing that. Okay, you're out there. But if you're on LinkedIn, that's going to be the major place. People are going to always go to LinkedIn. All the recruiting companies are going to go look at you on LinkedIn. So once you're there on LinkedIn, you're pretty much done. You don't have to spend all that time.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you were talking about Robert Half. So I just happened to go do a quickie search here on Robert Half. So these are jobs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They have 24 jobs listed. So let's see here. Accounting, paralegal. So here's an IT analyst, desktop support analyst. So they had two, I guess, so there's really two. There's a product manager job. I don't know about that. So, if you find a job on some of these websites, it's definitely, this is the thing to do. Go and, call them up and say, hey, that's me.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't realize that they posted jobs.
You made it easier for a recruiter when you call them up and say, I saw this job online. I can do that role. They're going to talk to you.
Okay. I didn't realize you could go to that they posted jobs on their actual site. I've just never used them before.
Yep, Robert Half does. I mean, a lot of the firms, they post on their own website as well as they'll post on LinkedIn. I haven't looked to see if Robert Half posts on LinkedIn or not, but like I said, they had, and their website covers jobs all over the country. So they may also have remote jobs listed and stuff too.
All right. Okay, thank
you. You had a question?
Again, some hoping to help Rob. Rob, did you say you are in IT or in the technology space?
Yes.
Okay.
And healthcare information systems.
And you here in DFW? I'm sorry if I'm repeating the question.
Yes, I'm in DFW.
Okay, then when Jeff sends out the email with the contact information, I'll email you a few resources, some meetings, not like meetups, but regular meetings that you might find useful.
Okay.
And when you talk to people at the meetings, they'll point you to other meetings that they go to. So that's how, even if.
And these are these Zoom meetings or are they physical?
No, in person, and very good. Yeah, in fact, just a week or 1.5 weeks ago, there was a happy hour. It's a very well-known organization.
Okay.
In fact, I'm likely to get a job offer through a contact I met there.
Oh, okay.
So it was really funny over beer and bratwurst. Who would have thought? Seriously.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, thank you. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. I'd be grateful. Thank you.
All right. And Lily just put her information in there too. So she's just the last one you just put in her email there.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I mean, I was on the cardio machines the first part and then came back to my apartment, fixed breakfast and feeding my face. So I didn't show up.
Right. Anything else? Any other questions anybody else has? Questions, Trevor? Come on, Trevor, give us another question. Come on, don't be shy. We haven't called on Anthony yet.
Story of my life, shy all my life.
Hey, so Rob, I couldn't tell which one you were. Go ahead and link in with me.
sir.
I couldn't tell which one on LinkedIn you were, so go ahead. You're probably the Grapevine one. But go ahead and link in with me. I put it in the chat there.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yeah, a lot of people might not have the chat up, but that's all right.
Yeah,
Is it-
yeah, I mean, if
oh,
there's multiple of you out there, it's really a good idea, make sure you add in your contact information, put in your LinkedIn profile, so that way we know which one you are, because
Oh, okay. I see you now, Trevor. Okay, I'll copy and paste this to my desktop and
okay, very
hook
good.
up. Thank you.
Hey, Jeff,
Anybody else?
it's Rosina. Got a
Yes,
quick question.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I had some interruptions. Oh, I think somebody just put it. Jan, that's the link I was looking for. Thanks, Jan.
Good,
Jeff-
okay, talking about career breaks, okay. Career break is not a career ender.
Tips for LinkedIn. Number one, always use a personal note. Some people say you can't do that on a phone. Yes, you can. You just hit the 3 dots and it gives you a chance to send a personal note. Secondly, when they connect, send a thank you note for connecting. Thirdly, if they give you some information, please follow up with them and tell them how you use that information, how it was helpful, what has it done. I have yet, in doing this 6 years, to have a person come back to me and say, I did talk with them, I have a good vision, here's what happened, whatever. And you ought to be doing that with a person that you connect with all the time. Show them the value that they spent with you. You will build a relationship and a true connection with that person. A lot of times I send out a bunch, I've done a lot of work, sent out 5 or 6 companies, 2 or 3 contacts each, how I met them, when they contacted and connected with me, all that sort of thing. And I got a thank you reply. And that's the last I ever heard. Doesn't make me want to go out and help you very much if I don't, if I don't show that I'm of any value to what you do.
All right, anything else? Going once, going twice?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let me show you just a few more slides and we'll get out of here for today. Get our Labor Day weekend going here. Let's see here, get the right thing up here. If you have not put your introductions into the chat window, please do so. Please put in your name, phone, email address, position you're looking for. A couple target companies, use the company name that's truly on LinkedIn. That would be a big help. Then hit the return key. We're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us next Tuesday. Locke Aldous will be with us on LinkedIn Tuesday at 1 o'clock Central to talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting, strategies to get results. Next Wednesday, practice interview team. Every Wednesday we'll talk about interviewing. If we don't have a candidate, we will have another interviewing lesson that we can show. And then next Thursday, being the second Thursday of the month, we will talk about networking. Let's see here. Jay Arbetter will be talking about networking and about how he's used networking. It's a really good little motivational speech. Come join us for that next Thursday. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career FW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. Walt talked about several times on the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist. There's over 400 videos there, but if you click on playlist, I've got 7 different playlists that I've put together. And if you want to go back and find the speaker on accountability groups, click on the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speaker list. And when you do that, you can then go back, scroll down, and you'll be able to find all the topics are there, and you can find out what the topic is, and you can go back and watch any of those sessions. Just know that the speakers usually start about 30 minutes in. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. For those of you, if you haven't seen, tomorrow, most of the movie theaters tomorrow are offering $3 movies, $3 plus tax at Cinemark, AMC. There's a whole list of them out there. So good opportunity. I guess they say that Labor Day is the slowest weekend for movies. And so the National Movie Association around the country has come up with go watch a movie tomorrow for 3 o'clock. I know one of the theaters is actually offering a popcorn and drink special for $5. So, check if you got nothing else going on, go enjoy the movie. So everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.